Well, no bear yet, but we're gonna do one more thing tomorrow, which is going to be going up north where they have the bait. Just the bears haven't hit the bait yet because it's just a little early, but they are out. So we're gonna just go see if we can glass something. I mean, it's kind of a long shot, but we'll go check it out. But anyways, we got all our stuff drying out because everything's wet. Sleeping bags got soaked. Not soaked, but surprisingly, those big Agnes's did well with that water resistant down. Like, I was still pretty warm last night. But spot and scope, everything's wet. So we'll get this all ready. We wiped off our guns already. Got those cleaned off a little bit so they're not going to be getting rusty. So anyways, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more footage there and maybe even footage of a bear. We're off to our second leg of the adventure and we're gonna go check out the bait with the 6-wheeler. We'll do a little glassing. It's tough because the bears aren't out full force yet, and you know, spot and stalking bears can be tough, but we're gonna run up there and see what we can find. And then we will hopefully get some footage here. Well, 300 rum will kill a porcupine. It got a little western. We had to swing over. We need bait for the bear station. So, anyways.
Okay, you're carrying it.
I guess I got to carry it. All right, what are you doing, Josh?
I'm harvesting some porcupine here.
So you can make a G-string or what?
Mohawk hat.
Ah, Mohawk hat. And so Josh went over, he grabbed out these quills. We're gonna go up to the bear bait, put this porcupine up there for the bear bait, and he grabbed the quills and put them in his glove, so you can see here. I want to take a couple home to my son. They're kind of cool. But anyways, we're gonna drive up this road over here and just check the bait. I think maybe drive around glass a little bit and then go from there. All right, we're in here with the bear bait, and I guess there was a bear in here recently, a small one. There's a tree stand there. There's a tree stand there. Then there are some tracks over here. There's some more bait. Yummy beaver.
That was salt.
And there's some tracks down in here. The snow has really melted the last week. And there's some bear tracks down there.
There's claw prints in the snow.
Cool. Just hung a beaver. I guess they really like beaver, so they got a beaver here, hung it up. So they'll come up here once the bears start hitting it hard. They got to come up quite a bit, maybe once a week, twice a week to get this thing full. They're hoping the brown bears usually come in kind of June time frame, so they're hoping maybe June. Josh wants to shoot with his bow. I told him a 30-pound bow is not enough to shoot a bear with. But he told me he's got like a 55-pound bow. We'll see how that works. Alright, we're up in the tree stand a little ways. My dad's over there. I'm up here. We'll be waiting for a bear. We're just waiting for like 6 hours. See what we can see, and then go from there. We have a plane to catch in the morning, so there's only so much you can do, but we'll see.
Well, here at Hunsaker Fur, we focus on making high quality garments for winter wear, as far as hats, mittens, headbands, earmuffs, those kind of things. And we also sell high quality furs that are professionally tanned. We have some Alaskan lynx, beaver, otter over here. We got some badgers, Arctic fox, sunglow fox, ranch reds. We've got some Arctic marbles, some Arctic blues, and then we got some of my personal furs over here that I'm going to make some hats out of. There's our fur sewing machine. This thing is a beast. It's made by Bonus Never Stop Fur Machine. It's specifically made to sew furs. And then over here we got a bunch of wolves. There's a wolverine, some Arctic shadow fox, Arctic crystal fox, and lots of silver fox. And yeah, we make all kinds of stuff. If you want something made, feel free to hit us up at Hunsaker Fur on Facebook. Right here. So, we went up to the bait, and it was Friday night, and we just got off work, and we were headed up to the bait, and we parked the wheelers where we always do, and we start walking up the hill to walk down into the bait. And we got to the top of the hill, and we saw this bear, and I was like, wow, that's really dark bear. First I thought it was black bear, it was so dark. And so I looked over at my buddy Jeremiah, and we were like, I want to shoot that thing with my bow. That's my big bright idea. On the ground, as close as we can get. So we ditch most of our stuff except for our weapons, and we decide to make a move on this bear as it went in on our bait. So we sneak down in, and down in the bait, it's pretty thick. Some pretty thick brush down in there. And we had the perfect wind. The wind was straight in our face, and we were downwind of this bear, so we had that to our favor. And we were able to sneak all the way in and get within about 20 yards of this bear. And I had knocked an arrow. I was getting ready to make this shot, and the bear just stopped. He stopped eating, and he knew something was up. He couldn't tell quite what, and he looked right at us, and it was like a long pause of, uh-oh, we don't want to move. And then I'm slowly getting the arrow right to him, and then right as he picked his head up to like sniff the air or something, he picked it up just enough that I was able to let one fly. And I hit him right in the chest. And he reared up, made this loud dinosaur roar. And that's when I knew I really drilled him. And we had this plan, if it looked like he was going to run at all, for Jeremiah to shoot. And so he shoots, because it got back on all four and was looking like he was getting ready to go. I'm trying to load up a second arrow, and so I'm trying to tell him, don't shoot again. And I get my arrow knocked, and I'm just now flipping my drop away arrow rest up, and I just pulled back when I looked up, and this big bear was looking right at us, now about 15 yards, and he decided he wanted a piece of us. So he put his ears back, and he was coming. So I'm telling Jeremiah to shoot again, and that time he hits him right under the eye. You would have thought for sure that would have killed a bear like that. It didn't. It just changed his mind from coming right at us, and right after he changed his mind, he turned, I was able to let my second arrow fly. Hit him again, and then I ended up shooting 2 more times just to make sure that he was down. when we skinned the bear out, we realized that I had taken out his heart on the first shot, and a little bit of the one part of the lung too. So he was a dead bear. He didn't know it, but he was very much alive for quite a while after that first shot, and that was our crazy experience with my bear. So we ended up loading him up on the trailer or onto the machine, and we took him back to the trailer because it was still really early in the night, and we wanted to hunt. And that my bear hunt was over before we even knew it. So we took the bear down, put it on the trailer, took a couple pictures, had some refreshments, had some snacks, and then we're like, oh, let's go see if we can't get another bear. So we start hiking, or we drive the wheelers back up, and then we park them in the exact same spot. We start hiking back up, and we literally get to the same spot, and I'm carrying two 40-pound buckets of bait, so 80 pounds total. And Jeremiah's all pointing down the hill again. I'm like, you're full of baloney. And sure enough, I get to the top of the hill where he's at, and there's another bear. I can't believe it. In about the exact same spot that we saw mine. And so we come up with a plan of, okay, we watched it go into our bait. And so, like, okay, we're going to go and shoot a second bear. Perfect timing. Phenomenal timing. We've never had timing like that. So we decide, well, we're just going to carry the bait down too with us, because why not? So I'm carrying the bait. Jeremiah's leading the way. And we get all the way to the bait, and we don't see the bear. We don't know where he went. Don't know what happened to him, except for he probably smelled my bear, all the blood, and us, all of our scent that we left behind, and decided to skedaddle. So we quickly dumped all the bait in the barrels, and then we started a honey burn. And then we hopped up to our tree stands. We're all sitting there, probably half hour, 45 minutes goes by, and I spot this bear in the distance. And there's some beaver ponds in the distance, and I was like, oh, there's another bear coming over the ridge. And you could tell he was just sniffing away. And he was downwind of us, and we think that he could smell that honey burn. So he was coming on in. He was coming on in quick, and then he decided for a young bear, he was a smart bear, because he wanted to get further downwind of us, and he finally popped up, and he was maybe 200 yards from us at this point when I was telling Jeremiah at his 4 o'clock there's a bear. And so he looks over, and we sat and watched the bear for a little bit, and then I ended up getting a short little video of the bear. We'll send that, make sure that you guys can see this little bear. But it was really neat watching him. He went over to this spruce tree, a little spruce tree, about 6-8 feet tall, and he just walks right over it and just bulldozes it down and lets it just scratch his belly. And then he just kind of walked, like he was hesitant to come into the bait, and because where he was sitting and sniffing the air, he just decided he didn't want nothing to do with us. And so right after he bulldozed that tree, he quickly ran off to cross one of the creeks over there, and then back up onto the hillside over by the beaver ponds where he originally came from. So we saw 3 bears that night, and then the next day Jeremiah went back in and was checking the cameras and everything, and it looks like we have 6 brown bears total, 3 boars coming in, and then a sow with 2 cubs working the bait as well. So I don't think those boars are going anywhere with that sow around. So that's our bear story.